So who's on the internet?
So we sent out some alums, some students, some advisory board.
Okay.
Usually we get half dozen or so. Half dozen's a good session.
Hey, I was watching yesterday. It was pretty slick.
How many people were on when you were watching?
2.
Yeah.
My dad was. I opened it in incognito tab, so actually it was both people.
That's right.
Wow.
Thank you for raising our stats.
Drake and Drake too.
My dad was going to get do you have AdWords on that?
What's that?
Do you have AdWords on it?
No, not yet. We will fund a scholarship with that the amount of interest will generate. Okay, Casey and Stacy, you are on. The next 25 minutes is yours. Do you want us to hold our questions to the end or ask them as we have them?
As we go, we can question and answer.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Hi everyone, we're Casey and Stacy. Thanks for coming. Our project is about Beauty Hub. So we started from this idea. So let's say you plan to get a haircut service for this week, and you go to Google probably and search something like haircut service in Provo, and the majority of Google search results probably show you the local brick and mortar businesses. The price point varies depending on which one you choose, but usually it is higher for those brick and mortar stores. Also, when you call them up to make an appointment to get their service, it is highly likely that a random person is assigned to you, whoever is available for the time that you requested, unless you specify somebody. On the other hand, there are home-based business owners who offer same services. Usually the price point is lower for compared to brick and mortar stores. Also, as the business is run by just one individual, you know what to expect. However, the typical way that you will find them out is through social media, or you are referred to them by word of mouth. With the social media though, the problem is the page might contain some basic information about the business, but it is not actively used for advertising. So that's why we came up with this idea, B2C platform called Beauty Hub, where people can search or promote the home-based beauty service providers such as hair, nail, eyebrow, or eyelash care service. Yeah. So as far as technology stack goes, we use Node.js and Express for backend, and MongoDB for database, HTML, jQuery, and CSS for the front end. Also, we used Heroku for web hosting service, and used Google Maps API.
So I'll explain the overall structure of our database. The main table here is user and beauty provider, and beauty provider table is inherited from user table. And user can make appointment, and also they can upload their profile image, and also they can write review for that appointment. And for beauty provider, the other functionality they can do is they can add services they're offering, and they can post their availability. So these two is the major difference between user and beauty provider tables. So before the demonstration, I'll briefly go over the lessons that we learned from this project. So I think we get to know better about the technologies for a collaboration such as Heroku and GitHub. And also we never used NoSQL database such as MongoDB, but we were so used to using SQL-based database, but this time we get to know a lot of this, and because it supports JSON format, we actually thought it is more efficient or convenient to work with web development. And also we kind of get to learn the whole journey of building website like web development, because Actually, it's our first time building the whole website except the in-text project. So it was challenging, but I think we learned a lot about web development. And also, along with that, we also learned about teamwork and how it is important for the project. Like, I mean, you just cannot do it alone or by yourself for everything, right? So you always have to have teammates, and you have to know how to work with others. And that was the big part that we learned from this project. So, and along with that, we also get to know a lot of project management skills. I think that is very important, like as an IS major student, because we have to accomplish each deliverables before the deadline and due date. So it was really good opportunity to learn project management skills. And also it was a great opportunity for us to combine all of the skills that we learned from classes. So yeah, I think those are the lessons that we learned from the project. So I will go for the demonstration. So this is the overall view of our website. This is the home page. And this is the sign-up page for beauty service provider. And this is kind of FAQ page and sign up and log in. So for this part, I will demonstrate how to search and make appointment and write a review for the appointment as a customer user. So I will try to log in as one of our test user. So for the search, actually, you can search any beauty service provider by their location or that's funky sometimes. So you can search any beauty service provider by their zip code, like this, or city name, and you can choose date or service types they're offering. But for the demonstration, I'll just select the date that I want to make appointment and click search. And this only shows because this beauty provider is only available for this specific date. But this is the overall idea that of our listing page for search. So if you hover it here, the label, it shows the name of the business and it's a link direct to the detail page. And you can obviously click this view profile and book button to go to the same page. And users actually can see the number of reviews or ratings for that beauty service provider, but for now we don't have any reviews that created yet, so it says 0. But also customer can also bookmark their favorite beauty service provider clicking this icon here. If they click
and it directs to the favorite list on the dashboard when it deletes it.
That's the idea. But I will try to make appointment here. So this is the detail page, and they can user can see the address or contact general information about the business and kind of services they're offering, and reviews from other users, but we don't have it for now, and more pictures of their business. And if I click schedule now here, now I can make appointment. So I can choose the service that I want. They can see durations and price. For the demonstration, I'll just choose hair perm. And if I click the select date and time, this page will pop up. So this is where I can choose the exact date and time actually. So if let's say I want to make appointment on Friday this week, like 10 a.m. I think there's an error now. It keeps refreshing and direct me to. No. Sorry. Yeah. It acts okay, but if I click this one, it refreshes the page and
But you're showing the whole week, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
week. So yeah, sorry, I misunderstood that part. But let's say I want to make appointment Friday, 10 a.m. Then if I click the button, the start time will show up here, and the end time will be calculated based on the duration that beauty provider entered. And customer can also add like additional like optional message to beauty service provider. Then they click book now, then this confirmation page will show up, and so user can see all of their like appointments by going to this my dashboard booking page. So these are the status of the appointment, and for the future for the appointment that already have completed, user can write a review. So this is the page for writing review. They can add title for the review and like detailed information and ratings. And if they click post, their reviews are posted on the review page. And this is the favorite page that I've showed you earlier, but they can see more information and they can go to detailed page by clicking this icon, and they can delete the users, beauty providers they have been marked. So on the main dashboard page, they can see upcoming appointments and like favorite user just at a glance. And another feature is there is a My Profile tab where users can change their profile image and change their password and like change their basic information like name or address. So this is the overall demo for general customers, meaning like general users. And now Casey will take turn and show you the beauty service provider demonstration.
Okay, I'll log in as a beauty service provider now. Basically, for beauty service provider, pretty much everything is done on my dashboard page. So the main page is same for the user and the beauty service provider, so it shows upcoming appointments and the reviews. This Maria, the user Maria, has the business called Beautyfly. So on the business profile tab, the user can edit their business profile info. And on the gallery tab, this is where they upload or delete the pictures. And these pictures are shown on the page where the details are listed, as Stacy showed earlier. Also, another main feature for beauty service provider is services tab, which where the business provider can list out their services. So, for example, at the button, and this window pops up, and just select the service type, and then put service name, let's say hair color, and then type the price, and then duration, and then add. And this one pops up here. Also can delete and edit the service if needed. Also on the schedule, this is where the beauty service provider updates their availability. For now, the user can only update for availability for 1 week. So if they want to update availability for another week, they should select one of the dates of that week. So for example, if you want to update the last week of April, just choose one of the dates here, and then the dates showing has been changed. By default, we just set Monday to Sunday, 9 to 5. So the light green means this user is not available, and the solid green means this one is available. So the beauty service provider can mark off, just clicking each spot like this, or just clicking by this make day off. They can just make the day off. And then just after they select certain spot, they just go click this update button, then it'll populate the availability in the database. And that availability shows up on the booking page that we showed earlier. And then lastly, just bookings and reviews. This is just same concept. It just listed out the bookings made by customers for this beauty service provider. And same for the review, but we didn't really have it for now. Yep. Yeah, that's the end of our demonstration. Yeah, and we're open to Q&A.
Thanks.
Any questions?
Yeah.
I have a couple questions, couple just about some of the features. When a potential client goes on and schedules an appointment, like they're 90 minutes, do you have it working so that the schedule marks those in the database, the ones following their appointment block, that it blocks those out as well?
Yes. Once, so it is 90 minutes and then 3 blocks.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Good. Very good.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
then-
why we have to make the slot 30 minutes duration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So scheduling is a really challenging thing, especially with variable, durations and things. So.
Yeah, from your advice from the previous presentation, we try to make it like optimized, make it more user friendly, so that they don't need to click like every single button. But it was kind of challenging for us to change the whole thing to make it work.
Yeah.
And we did some research for like similar competitors, and they pretty much have similar system that we have right now. So I think if you want to go further, I think we need to spend more time on it.
Yeah, there's some front-end solutions that you could employ to select a series of components at a time and then mark all of those, or something that would, decrease the user experience. But tell me about your plans for this. Are you going to try to make it like a real thing?
We'd love to.
Not short term, not in the short term, but maybe
Okay.
in long term we could go. I think because we have Airbnb or Uber, but we don't have specifically for beauty industry. So I think it's a really big part, and especially we're targeting home-based business providers who doesn't have really big budget for promoting their business. So I think we have some possibility, and if we plan to generate some profit, then we could, we probably thinking to implement subscription model. Like we charge like $15 or $10 per account, so that they can use these services with like minimal efforts and budget. So
Yeah, something like that is just essential to the business, so that you're able to manage everything. And so $10 a month, I think that the market would easily bear that.
So actually, just on that, I think it's really cool that your marketplace is so niche, because we just went for Neighbor. We just went to the big marketplace conference, and that's what they talked about. Like the ones that succeed are the ones that start really small, at least the majority of them.
So you guys have actually same idea.
Yeah,
I
was like,
field.
you guys did this so much better than RV1 marketplace, because this is what my project too, pretty much. Just yours is way prettier. So good job.
It does look good. This is a classic two-sided market, and a two-sided market means you've got to get consumers and you've got to get businesses, and so you have to market to both of them.
Right.
And there are different challenges with that, so you need to study two-sided markets.
Yeah.
And it does look good. I noticed that I think your call to action is below the fold on. So go to the page where a provider signs up.
Yes.
Scroll down now. Yeah, see, the get started is down below the fold.
Yeah. Yes.
I would make sure, and maybe it's just because this is a small projector, but I get the call to action up a little higher.
Yeah.
Personally. But anyway, that's just one thing. Have you looked at scalability at all? How old is scale?
What do you?
If you had a lot of users, if you had all of a sudden thousands of businesses and thousands of users.
So actually, we didn't reach that point to think about the scalability, because we just spend so much time on just
finishing
completing
up
the
the
project now.
functions.
Yeah.
That's why we say we didn't think, we
Get it working
not planning
first.
to go for business for real, like in
Yeah.
short
But if
term.
we make it happen, we're a team with
Yeah.
security and the web,
Yeah,
more experts, and
right.
probably move from free tier of Heroku to more faster and efficient web
So
hosting.
this website is live on Heroku, but
The reason that we're doing on local is it's kind of slow to show, so
With
we're just
Heroku.
doing it for now. Yeah, local.
How many hours do you have into this?
I just
20 hours per week.
It's hard to count because we watched a lot of YouTube, like to learn, and a lot of Google searching and troubleshooting also to come to this far
And
to make it
also,
work.
yeah, it is our first time using Node.js and Express.
But your class really helped us to understand the
Right.
JavaScript part, and that really helped us with the Node.js and everything. So it worked really great
Good.
this semester.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you went to Korea with this,
Mhm.
how would that change your design?
The problem is different cultures. So we don't have really home-based business.
So you wouldn't do this in Korea?
Yes, the thing I notice in America all the time that I stay here, you guys, there are so many home-based business owners, and they do need some sort of service like this.
Yeah.
So that's why we came up with this
The
idea.
American dream. And my last question, sorry,
That's fine.
do perms and haircuts really cost that much?
The answer is yes, I
Yes.
can
Oh.
attest to that.
Well, it depends on
Count
your
yourself
hair
lucky.
length.
You don't even know that.
Yeah.
Mine's pretty cheap, Steve.
But one thing I want to make a comment about this, if we bring this to Korea, probably we will take this business idea to big company, like Samsung, or there's company called like KakaoTalk or Naver. It's kind of really famous technology company in Korea.
KakaoTalk is really hot technology where it's basically a messenger app that everyone uses in Korea. So if you have this app, you can do Uber, sort of Uber thing. That's
So
Korean version. And
Korean version of
yeah.
Uber called Kakao Taxi.
Yeah, it's connected to every service.
I see.
So if you
Nice.
It'd
So
be
the
Kakao
owner-
Beauty.
yeah.
Slash founder, he spoke at ICIS when we were in Seoul in
Oh.
December. It looked amazing. If you could get your foot in that door,
Yeah.
that market is there.
Right.
Yeah. So that'll be great.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah.
What did you do for your visual assets to make it look so nice? Did you start off with a template or something like that?
Yeah, we started off the tablet, and we did. I look at so many other websites that's similar, like competitors, and I try to like see their like overall feel or look and try to implement it to our website. So, but basically we started from the template.
Where did you get your template?
Is it Unify? It's like a website that sells like template.
There is a website
I
that's
forgot the name
selling
of it, but-
the not what was it, 유료? Paid template.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So I just
don't know.
purchased one of them.
That is the smartest way to develop a website. No, I mean,
Absolutely.
no question about it. You know, and it'll cost you, I don't know how much yours was, but $60 to $100 for an amazing template. And you still have to be smart how you use it, but yours looks really great.
Were there graphics that you had to create and add in, or did you also?
Graphics?
Yeah.
We mostly used graphics from the template. They already have like so many icons, but we got this picture. But this picture we just searched on Google publicly, and then I just created this like logo on Photoshop, just typing.
Okay.
Yeah. So we didn't do much work on like graphic design.
But it looks like you did.
You might be able to sell this to a small business owner, you know, and make a little bit off of it if you're not planning on doing it. I definitely think the subscription model is a viable option, and you know, someone that wants to go out and sell and build it. I mean, you have a lot of things in place.
Any other questions, comments?
All right, great job.
Thank you.
Up next, we have neighbor.
Sorry?
The demo lunch, and then we have something, so I'm headed for that. Is there any?
My sister would totally use that.
Sorry.
She's a stay-at-home mom. Cuts
Yeah.
hair.
Breakfast too?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, my wife would definitely use the consumer side of it.
No, no worries.
And I like how that's like, I feel like that'd be an easy way to get to that channel, right? To find the haircutters.
One of the few users in our program.
Does anyone know how to duplicate on YouTube? Duplicate
I was hoping it would just automatic, but that's okay. We'll just have to demo this. Alright.
Awesome.
Should we start?
Yeah, so we have Sean and Michael here doing some features from Neighbor.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. This is what we came for. This is the old
Please
name.
click.
New name.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Click and subscribe.
Seriously. So anyway, like you introduced us, Michael, Sean. Our project was doing a lot of feature work for Neighbor. Sean actually works for them. I just kind of was tagging along for the fun. So we're just going to do a quick project overview. Then we'll go through the features that we did a little bit, and then talk about lessons learned. And actually, I put questions at the end, but just ask them throughout if you have them, just so that you don't forget them or whatever. Just ask. But I would invite you right now to go to storewithneighbor.com. If you have a device and you want to do that, you can poke around at things while we're talking about some of these things, and we'll demo some that we might want some involvement from you. So if you would like to go there, that would be awesome.
We also have a Love Thy Neighbor, Neighbor Storage. It's URLs has been a nightmare because we're just trying to figure out what's right for us. But yeah.
So initially, the problem that we were addressing for this project is that Neighbor needs more traction. They just need more people signing up to list and more people signing up to rent these spaces and things like that. So our solution was to find features and create and implement features that drive more traffic to people doing listings and reservations and things like that. So we selected a lot of features that we would improve on and create to be able to accomplish that. So here's a list of the features that we focused on, kind of more broad SEO. We had to do a lot of things with that, which Sean will talk about in a little. I'll talk about the locales page that we made, listing calculator, store with a friend, social sharing, and then we had to do a homepage redesign, which is a huge thing, overhaul, and this referral earnings tracker. So those are kind of the list.
Yeah, this is the presentation. We're gonna go into each one of these features, demo them. So the first thing, first week of Capstone, our SEO, we weren't even getting like indexed hardly. We had like 6 pages being indexed. That's January, beginning of semester. And so it's because our meta tags weren't being read because we're using React on the front end. So I just had to go do some research on how to get it in. I found a library actually that the NFL produced called React Helmet that is pretty reliable because Google can read front-end frameworks now. And for a few years they've been able to do that. So anyway, a ton of research into that. I had to like just pretty much overhaul everything SEO. I changed all the keywords, just made it more attractive for Google, right? And you can see we've had results. This is the first, our old domain, and it just shot up to about 800, topped off at 1200. We just launched this new domain, and we're at 1.4K pages being indexed. So huge win first week. That was great.
I'm gonna go demo.
Sorry?
We're gonna go demo, right?
Oh, yeah. Let's demo stuff.
Yeah. So now we'll talk about that locale page. You want to come there?
All right. So go to the stage. So the second part of SEO was locale page. So these are all locales we're in. If we just go to our sitemap, this is also helps so Google can read it. We put a sitemap at our base, and then you're gonna demo locales.
Yes. It's kind of hard to see over here.
So you can stay on that one. Just click on those actually if you wanted.
Oh, okay. Let's just go over here. Okay, so we created this page. Well, obviously it's dynamic, and it basically is created for those locations. And on this page, we created this map that shows the locations that are like the listings around you. And and then these listings used to be a really, really long list, and then we put this show more if there's more than a huge page worth. We made this average price that draws from neighbors' data and says this is the average prices in the area and the lowest prices, which was what we saw in our competitors doing that we really liked, so we made sure to do those kinds of things. And then yeah, by amenity, by type, and other cities in Utah. So that's kind of the page that we made. It was a pretty big chunk of the first part of our project. But do you have any questions about this page? Just while we're here. Okay. And then I think we're gonna do listing calculators.
Yeah, that's part of the page. We're not ranking yet, but eventually we want to rank when you search storage in Provo. We want that to happen. So, okay, so now this was a feature we thought could have a lot of impact. In fact, let's go to the homepage first. Does anybody have empty space in their house right now, or an empty closet or bedroom? Okay, can you tell me about your space? I want to see how much we can earn off it. So this is the next feature. So let's say listing. Oh crap. I need that back. Listing. Tell me about your space. How big is it? What's the dimensions about?
We've got a basement room that we don't have anybody living in currently. We just moved into a new house, and it could, I'm guessing, maybe 12 by 20 feet, perhaps.
Nice. That's a big space. I love it. So where, like, what city are you in?
Provo.
Provo. Yeah, let's do town center. Just 'cause. So normally you have your address there, but it's a basement space.
Yeah, it's like a finished bedroom with closet and everything, but.
All right. Yeah. So and then is it climate controlled?
In the sense that it's in the house, yeah.
Private entrance.
No.
Smoke free, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Smoke detector, yes.
Smoke detectors. Your pets?
No pets there.
Locked.
Could lock the door. Put a lock on it.
Lockable. Great. And then let's say, what do you say? Like, be comfortable with business hours.
Business hours.
By appointment. All right. So, pretty good money. Easy money for a whole year. And then the point is, you click here, and it'll automatically create the space for you. It'll pre-populate based off stuff. And then we actually, anyway, so you can go back and edit that if you want. You can upload more photos. We have a street view photo of the Provo Town Center, which you can delete or remove depending, whatever you want to do. Let's go back to this, play with it a little more.
And you can choose your own price?
Yes, you can. That's big. And so, also what you can do is we could have cut up your space. Like it was a 12 by 24, so we could fit probably like 6 5x5s in there, and it pretty much doubles what you earn.
Okay.
So, anyway, so this is actually the second iteration of the listing calculator. The third iteration is down here, really simple, and it does all that same populating stuff. So, anyway. That's the listing calculator.
Do you want to show them the other part?
Oh, yes. Okay, so while I'm at it, let's go to my dashboard. Let's edit this bad boy. Okay, so the purpose of that was to drive more listings. And the feedback we've gotten on that is we've got a lot of great verbal feedback, like, wow, this is awesome. Finally, I can finally see, and like it's really easy when we market neighbors someone just to pull that up. On conversions, it hasn't had a huge effect, actually, believe it or not. If you come to neighbor, you've already decided usually that you want to list. So like we've had 50 listings this month, published listings, and only 9 have come through this feature, surprisingly. So
that's pretty good to me. 20%?
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you use to track your A/B testing and conversions?
It's a product called KISS Metrics. Yeah, love it. It's been great. You can do like a lot of cool features of that. So I can probably talk more if you want. So the next part of that was we want more free traffic. So we want to enable hosts to be able to promote their space. So we added this 4th page, nailed it. Pretty much tells them to do stuff, and you can click on these to share. Just one click share, really easy. Got some advanced marketing options, and then this is one of my prouder moments on the website. We coded an Easter egg into here. So if you click this, like 5 times, it starts like giving you messages. And I'd invite you guys to. Dang it! I'll make you a stagey good thing. Yeah, I'll just do it right now. Okay. It takes a while. It's because I seriously coded like 60 messages into here, but
This is what I usually do when I go to websites.
Yeah.
See how many Easter eggs I can find.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
1,000 times clicking the button, still nothing happening.
What is the confetti? Is that just
It's a React component that's just a GitHub. So you can click this about 50 times. I have tracking on this button to see how many do it. I should have pulled the numbers in it. But as of a month ago, nobody had found it yet. It's just you. It's just me and the whole company just clicking there very quiet. So actually, if you get to the 50th message, it'll
Get a
actually
discount.
No, even better, it locks you out of confetti privileges. So I stored something to local storage and said, your confetti privileges have been revoked. Please talk to neighbor admin to get them back. So, anyway, I had way too much fun with that. Okay, so
that's awesome. That's fun.
the second share feature we had was. Alright, second share feature we had was the view counter with shares. Also, negligible impact. We've had probably 9 shares. So if you guys have improvements on this feature, we're thinking of putting promote your space here so they actually know. But the point is, right, like you can track how many views you have and go like, oh, this one has 0, this one has a ton. I'm gonna share this, get this up. You know?
So do you have a model where you can pay for featured listings or things like that? Is that what you're saying about promote your space?
So the point of this was to get free traffic. So it's pretty much make it easy for them to post on social media. Eventually, we're going to do stuff like that where we say like, oh, we'll take your first month's rent and put it towards AdWords if you want. Which we found AdWords can be great. We've been made up, not careful. So that's the listing side of social promotion. He's going to talk about the rental side now.
Yes. Sorry, let me make sure that I'm on the right track. Do you want me to move to one page actually?
Oh, sure, yeah. We can go back to that.
Okay. Here it is. Okay. Did you want to talk about it?
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, I can do that next.
Yeah, you do that. Sorry, that's first.
I forgot the order of the slides. All right, so first I'll demo. This is one we thought would build a lot of trust. All right. So if I search Payson, Utah, a big problem I think we only have 2% conversion on view listing detail to reserve, which actually is pretty market. Like Airbnb's is 1.5 actually to view listing detail. So we're a little better than them, but we want to get that up because that's a huge bottleneck. And so we thought this feature would be huge in making that happen. If you store with a friend, you can connect to Facebook, and voila, all of a sudden I can see that, oh hey, Joseph W. All of a sudden I have 100 plus friends, which I know, you know. And so the thought behind this was they'll click through more, they'll feel more comfortable, they'll message him and say, oh hey, how do you know Colin Gardner? That's cool.
So you don't see additional click-through. Is there something about the set though that folks feel more confident in the space as a result, and so maybe those that do convert, these ones convert at a greater percentage if they have friends in the network or something?
Yeah, that's the hope, right? And so we have like 11% of our hosts hooked up to this, so it actually only works for 11%. And we haven't, I haven't really taken the time to measure impact on this. We just kind of threw it out there and like, okay, let's hope it works. But we've had some cool effects where we had a TechCrunch article 2-3 weeks ago, and this is the beginning of the article, and they started talking about this feature, third paragraph, which is
awesome.
Was awesome. I know. We were like, yeah. And then we were in Business Insider, same thing, right at the top. You know, we were trending on Business Tech page for a while, which is pretty cool. I think they're more excited about the 2.5 million that they raised, that the company raised, not our feature. But
maybe.
Anyway, okay, so that's it with social, right? Okay.
Okay, we'll move through. So I thought it was really cool. I've made some GIFs of scrolling through the old homepage versus the new homepage, so you could kind of see and compare. It is a little cut off on that one, unfortunately. I did something wrong, but this is the old one. Business requirements, and we had to kind of reevaluate at that point in the project. I think it was iteration 4 or something, where we had an opportunity to do something like this that was way bigger of a feature, the homepage redesign, but would have much more of a business impact and more important for those conversions and things. And Sean's going to talk about specifically those numbers that happened as we did this redesign. But yeah, I was kind of talking so you could see a little bit of that new homepage. But obviously, if you went to that link, hopefully you got the new one, or that we're doing A/B testing, so you could have gotten either one. But hopefully you got the new one, so you could kind of see how that works. Oops. Let's see.
Top down.
Okay, so now we want to do one other feature that we did was if someone searched one of our localized pages that didn't have any listings, we needed somewhere to direct a user. And so one of our thoughts was, obviously, we want our user to share on Facebook. If they have a need to put some stuff somewhere in their city and there's no listings, then they should maybe share that on social media and say, I need this amount of space. So hopefully. So if no one has created a listing, you can see you can either list your space if you're on that side of it. But what we're talking about is if you need storage, you want to ask your friends and family. So we'll come up with this little modal, and we can kind of share our posts. So you can just type something about, I need to store through this, and it's a really good way for both of us to make money, kind of thing. And so this one we don't have metrics on yet. This was most recently completed, and so it's something that we're looking to put metrics on and see kind of what impact that has. But that is that one. And then do you want me to just do the other one at the same time? Also, I guess I could do it from here. If we go to the referral program.
You gotta sign in. Did you sign with Google?
Yeah. This one? So we're kind of giving some kind of benefit. If you get a friend to list a space and it gets rented, you get $50. Anyway, so we wanted to figure out a way to gamify that, make it look better other than just saying those words. So we kind of made this cool little tracker that if you send an email to, let's just send an email to me. Can't even type that spell right. Let's say I want to invite him to list, and my tracker will go up to $50 like I earned that. Obviously, you haven't necessarily earned that until they rent out the space, but it's just a way to gamify it to make people feel like, oh, okay, like I can actually earn some money by doing this. And let's do my wife. We can also invite to rent. That one's like $25. But anyway, it's just a good way to get people learning about that. We also don't have metrics on that one yet, but that's just because of the most recent completed. So do you want to move towards the last metrics you want on the homepage?
Oh yeah. Okay. So going back to the homepage, we, thought about. So initially we were going to, for the project, this is our only pivot. We tried to be pretty data driven here, but we had to be data driven before the semester started. We were going to put connect your Gmail contacts down here, and so you could just click invite to kind of make it more gameable, right? So you just want to click as many as possible. But we realized we only have 2% of our users actually hitting this page. Probably more than that. I don't know the number, but a percentage, where we have 3,000 people in the homepage every day. And so we had the designs. We're like, let's just do this first, And as we've had great results, I had some of the data you probably saw up there. So on the new homepage, we get 52% better registrations with 98% confidence, and we have 2 insignificant results. 92% better reservations, which is our most critical. That's how we get money. So that's not significant yet. And then 32% better listing. So it's just one of those things where I think they just get a better sense of oh, I can trust them because they look good, So that's been cool. And that leads us right to our lessons learned. My two are data's cool. It's been a lot of fun to let that inform our decisions and guide us. It's been a pain in the butt, like 80-20 rule. I love 80% of my job. 20% probably involves hooking up analytics and fixing some bug with that because I hate it because the user sees no effect. It's purely for us. It's the best useless debate antidote debate out of the data is. Informed pivots, and for example, informed our pivot with this project to not do Gmail invites and to do new homepage instead. Second one for me is building is easy, growth is hard. Like you can tell me to go build something, I'll spend 2-6 months on it, it'll get done, right? Or you can hire people. Getting people to actually buy the product, it's hard. It's a big problem, and a lot of time marketing. We actually had billboards go up, and that's really helped us a lot. And we've set records this last month. It's going crazy, so that's been great. So yeah, that's my 2 lessons.
I just want to say, mine are simple, but creating small wins for the customer, that was having to do with the gamifying the referral process, as well as if there's no listing, sharing that. You just want the customer to have the best way to use the product, right? And so if that means that they're searching to their location and there's nothing there, they need a way to share it, like what we created for that. And going back to his point, building is easy and growth is hard. I feel like we had to really be selective about what features we did to try and see good results. And so I just think that it was kind of hard to do that. I think that's one of my findings as well, is you have to focus on certain features that you think you've proven will affect the business in a good way, in a meaningful way. The last one is just I'm new to React. I hadn't used it really much, and so a lot of me learning up front at the beginning of this project was learning React and things, and so I learned a lot of the benefit of that, which was really cool to me, like with the virtual DOM and all those things.
And then with that, we're actually, so there's me and another coder right now in Peace full time, and we're actually migrating React to TypeScript, and like I can never do React in just JS again because we just find so many bugs, and TypeScript is just very, very helpful keeping things clean. And hey, if you want to rent your student space, student market's hot right now. You get $25 a month. We could probably split up your space into about 10 to 15 spaces. It's a lot of easy income this summer. So if you're interested.
My wife might be interested. I'll have to run it by her.
All right, well, I'll give you my email. Yeah, but
I would refer your wife and get $50.
There you go.
Nice. $10 is $10, right?
So that's it. Any questions?
So you talked about TypeScript. What's your overall reaction to the technology stack that you chose? Are there things you do differently if you were starting from scratch? Now that you have hindsight, it's 2020.
There's a lot of things we did not nail out of the gate. We did do pretty good with architecture, I think, because we started making a Rails monolith, and then I was like, wait, we're gonna need a mobile app. Eventually we're gonna be splitting up. So I'm like, let's split early, which was some more upfront work to build a whole React app because the front end can be very painful sometimes. But it's been great. We've been on Heroku, love it. We want to stay probably as long as we can, as long as it's cost viable, because it's so easy to roll things back. It's free monitoring pretty much. And then start with TypeScript. That's the only thing, because we have to go fast, and so it's like sometimes places in the code it's not the cleanest. We got bugs, and now we're just starting to go back and clean up. But looking back, I feel like I would have done it the exact same.
Okay. Did you ever look at a linting tool in addition to TypeScript?
So create React app comes with linting out of the box. So we just use the default ES linting. But
not nearly as good as TypeScript for you.
Exactly. What is that? A little tougher linter earlier. Anyway.
Other questions?
Question. So it's not about technology, but it's about security things. So what if someone tried to store something that is illegal, or something that, is there any hooks that you can prevent that kind of thing, features or not, or something like that?
We get that question a lot. especially with this idea, especially last semester when we were just talking about more of the project itself and with Neighbor. When you sign up and rent and list a space, you're not going to be liable for what they store there. And so if somebody stores drugs or something like that, we have made it so that they're not liable, and Neighbor makes that pretty clear as the person listing a spot signs up. But I haven't thought. Have you thought about what?
Yeah, I could talk 10 minutes about this. Yeah. So number one, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, but the reason why I'm asking this question is because we are having kind of same idea concept, right? Business concept, right? And we try to filter like unreliable beauty service providers, and that was kind of like main question for us. If we, in case we go for a weird business. So yeah, that's what I'm asking.
So there's a few angles you could take to help the customer. The easiest one is offer a guarantee up front. And so we offer a $10,000 guarantee. We're probably going to up it. Airbnb has a $1 million guarantee. If you look at other marketplaces, they all have guarantees, and like that'll solve the doubt in 2 seconds. You know, they see that, okay, fine, I'm fine. You know, but then, you know, if you have time to talk with them, there's a lot of things you could say. Like the sharing economy is built for trust. You know, like Uber, a big problem is like, oh, what if I get in a taxi with a rapist? Or same with Airbnb, but they've worked, right? And it's because like we're creating communities of trust. And if you're that kind of person, like there might be some that gravitate towards it, but in general, like if you look at the storage space, like if I want to store drugs, am I going to store in a storage space at the end of town, in my own house, or in someone else's occupied house where they have dogs and kids running around kind of thing? Like, not this one, you know? So anyway, there's a lot of things, but number one, I'd say offer a guarantee. And so we have the guarantee in place. We haven't advertised it everywhere yet, but
I think in your case, the rating system is your biggest benefit. I mean, once you hit a couple, and I tend to look at the negative reviews and say, oh, those aren't a concern to me. But if I see rapist, I'm never gonna rent that house. You know.
And then, so Airbnb actually has done a lot of work on this, and they found that if you have 12 or more ratings, customers are like 50% more likely to make a reservation. So we're at a disadvantage because you store something once, and then 5 years later you go, oh yeah, I'm paying a monthly thing, you know? And so there's no reviews hardly. You know,
you could pivot on that though, and you know, kind of have a periodic checkup with the people that have rented over an extended period of time, such that there's confidence raised over that time. Still tame because it's not independent, but
that's a great idea. Thank you. I love that. Because yeah, we haven't been able to use reservations, so we're pulling on other things. You could do reservations like that, you know. You could get 20 up in a week if it's a good person. So that's a really good idea. Thank you.
Yeah. Other thoughts or questions?
For the calculator, I assume the price depends on the option that you select, just like you showed. But does it depend on the location as well? Like so for example, the pricing, the storage in Provo will be different the one in New York kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, sorry. I was just trying to make that go back up, but it looks like it's not. Yes, it's dependent off of city data we've collected. I think, was it 15?
Like 6 cities in all 50 states,
yeah,
plus state averages, so we have a big database for that.
So it is dependent on that, which is good because you don't want to say, oh, I could make this much in Provo the same as New York, when New York's going to be obviously way more to store anything because everything's so small spaces.
Yeah.
We actually use radiuses too, so if like Lehigh, we have American Force prices around Lehigh, we'll make sure that it triangulates with that.
So I might have missed it because I came in a little late. Did you switch your name?
Yeah, we learned how to spell. So I was telling them we've had a domain fiasco, which if anyone's had to choose a domain, it's the worst. But yeah, right now we're store.neighbor.com. We also have neighborstorage.com, but yeah, we made the switch. Our main competitor, one of them in Colorado called Stow It, they actually bought a misspelling of N-E-I-Y. They did N-I-E-Y for it and redirected to their site.
Smart.
I know, and so we're like, okay, this is the last straw, we're gone. Because none of us really liked the name from the beginning. It's just a cheap domain. So.
Have you it's Neighbor Storage. Have you noticed that the domain name change has caused any traffic?
Not really. Like we had a couple articles that's been our big traffic bump, and then that helped our SEO. Like if you search Neighbor Storage, we're top result. Neighbor, we were on the first page last week. I just checked today though, and we got bumped to second page. But
Did that too.
yeah.
The neighbor in there.
But sometimes if you do like location to Utah, it'll show neighbor storage. So anyway, working on it.
All right, great job. Okay, we have a half an hour break, so I'll stop our streaming, and those that can, we'll see you in a